And today we thought we'd get in a former soldier from the ADF. He's from Canberra. It's Craig Ball. He joins us this morning. Good morning, Craig.
G'day, guys. How you going?
Not too bad.
There as well.
Mate, pretty special day tomorrow, isn't it, for you guys?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's been a very interesting week emotionally leading up to this, even today for me. I sort of get in a bit of a funny emotional zone, and you realise the butterflies and funny emotions. You realise, this is, here we go. We're getting ready for another year. So it's like as big a day as Christmas is for my kids.
Yeah,
For me.
yeah.
As someone who has served, do you feel the nation's support behind this as strong now as you have before?
Yeah, I do. I think that look, my world's changed dramatically since we moved up here, and I feel that the community support up on the coast is just amazing. So, yeah, I don't follow politics a lot anymore. Now that I don't need to worry about where we may be sent next. But I think that the patriotism and the support's pretty good.
Craig, across the weekend, because it was with the Rugby League, also the AFL, they did the playing of the last post throughout the entirety of all the rounds in the lead up to Anzac Day, to reflect and remember. And then people were saying, it should be only kept for Anzac Day, playing the last post. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I love the last post. I mean, it's drilled into me. It's part of it. And a lot of people from the military would feel the same way. I don't mind if it comes up at other times. It often, to get it played at a funeral or something is a nice thing as well, if it was somebody who served. But look, it's a significant way to pay respect, and I think it's a great way to do it. I also understand why some people think it should only be for certain occasions, but I think including the football, because sport is such a significant part of military life, is a really great way to pay tribute to that. And they often have some really good dignitaries or people that I've even served with who show up at some of these things and have quite great positions there. So
good time for a reflection when you hear that.
Yeah, 100%.
Seriously.
There's no way you can hear the last post at any event. And as long as I think it's directed that this is what we're here to signify, and then you listen and you're instantly drawn to the sacrifices made for us, our country by people such as yourself. I think it's brilliant.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's I never have a problem with it being played. I think it's great, and I think it needs to be really held in that regard, and I think it is. I think football's a great way to do that.
I'm with you, mate. Now, you served in Afghanistan, was that right?
Correct. Yeah, I went to Afghanistan in 2010 and 2012.
I've got to ask, when you see these movies that are made, we see it on TV, is it truly reflective, or is it of what went on, or is it worse sometimes?
Some are, some aren't. Of course, it's hard to reflect on some of the recent movies that were made about previous conflicts, but some are really good. I've part of my process of being involved in Invictus, you've got to have some stuff, and I've got the usual psychological injuries: chronic post-traumatic stress disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, alcohol use disorder, and major depressive disorder. The PTSD I notice has come up in the last 12 months of watching some of those movies. I had a couple of nights and my wife would be out, and kids would go to bed, my wife would be out having drinks with friends, and you'd reflect, you'd eventually find yourself on Netflix watching some war movie, and I'd be like, no, it doesn't feel right. So I don't know when I'll go back to watching some of those, but I do have some friends at work as technical consultants on some of those movies now. So I think some of the new ones that you'll see coming out are quite good, quite accurate.
And you did mention the Invictus Games. This is a great concept, which is the pet project of Prince Harry.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's an incredible opportunity. A really good friend of mine who I served with in 2010, who was my platoon sergeant, has been involved as a competitor in 3 games, and he's now involved behind the scenes. And we met at another mate we served with's wedding, and he said, why don't you come along and check it out? And I've had another mate who'd done it and had a look at it, and it wasn't until I stepped through the door and for the selection weekend in October that I was like, my goodness, this is so great to be in this community. It's really supportive, and it's been amazing.
Brilliant. And what are you competing in?
Well, I like to say rowing machine, but they call it indoor rowing. When I say indoor rowing, people go, is there a pool inside? But so I bought a rowing machine a number of years ago, just for my own workouts at home. And so it was a natural fit. I'm really loving that. I don't know if I'm going to get quite the results that I'm hoping to get, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
It's a great way to knock yourself around. I'm doing seated volleyball, which anybody out there listening who is not quite sure how that works, it's incredibly addictive. It just gets you competitive self-going, and you're like, God, I got to get this ball. It's just so full on.
So what, you're in chairs?
No, you're sitting down.
Oh, you're sitting down on the court?
Yeah, so they lower the... For everyone's wondering, they actually lower the net so you can get it over. But you're sliding, and they've got techniques, and you slide around on your bum and you're hitting these balls.
Low friction material. So what, you're skidding across the top of the floor.
Pretty much.
Rob, just turn around and just show Craig. Would you, with the size of his clacker?
Listen, this is quite muscular.
How would that go? That'd be like dragging the Titanic.
Oh, no. It'd be like on ice skates.
And also, you're doing archery as well.
Yeah, doing archery also. So with 3 kids under the age of 6, I'm trying to squeeze in some time to get along to an archery range. It's not really easy, but I've had a couple of goes, and it is I can see why people go from shooting firearms to shooting archery.
Yeah.
I can see how it would be similarly addictive. I've had a couple of goes. They lend you a bow and they tell you to go find a place.
Yeah.
And actually, a bloke who came along to my walk actually is like the president of some bush range that's not far, like just off the edge of the Central Coast somewhere. So I'm hoping he comes back to the walk so I can go along to that one. It sounded awesome.
We had a bow and arrow we bought for the kids, and it only goes about 20 metres.
Yeah.
How far are you pulling? How far is
Well, you really got to
bow
pull
and arrow
that
kit?
hard, and you got to get your chin into it. And apparently, I've been sent just in the mail this week these finger grips to help you to do it. And it's actually a real thing. There's this Australian Olympian who started his own business. I can't remember the name of it, so it's not a plug or anything. Has donated a whole bunch to us. So I've got to actually get out there and do it, because otherwise the coach is going to know when I show up to the weekend to.
Yeah. Don't forget the finger grips.
When you said about rowing, because my buddy over there, he always bangs on about how good he does on the rowing machine. We should put Rob Palmer and Craig Ball, who's going to the Invictus Games for seated rowing, or indoor rowing, and just see how good, all the talk, mate.
All you want to do is see me go down.
Game on, that's all I can say. Let's go.
Beautiful. We've got a challenge. And, mate, as well, just quickly, you've got a book, because as you said, what you've gone through, chronic post-traumatic stress, anxiety, and with what you guys see, and I could imagine that would be very common with a lot of those who serve for us. You've got your book out, Reclaim Your Power.
Yeah, 100%. I've been teaching this program on and off over the last 20 years, and I can actually credit my recovery from my psychological injuries to the content that's in that book. I've been, I used to do motivational speaking with high school kids back in the day, and a whole lot of other groups that I've presented to, and I've been teaching largely the same thing. And when I came back and had all these things to work through, I'm not advocating any, I'm a big advocate, I should say, for professional support and professional help, and I still see a counsellor to this day. But a lot of the deeper work I've been able to do and the results I've been able to get from what I teach. And yeah, it's my life's work in a lot of ways.
Where can we get this, mate?
You can get it by going to reclaimyourbook.com. That's my website, which you can order it direct.
Yep.
But it's also available on all online bookstores.
Sweet. Craig Ball from Canmore, served in the ADF. Mate, Anzac Day, have a great one tomorrow. Thank you for what you've done too, buddy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Craig.
Cheers.
And we look forward to that challenge with Mr. Palmer.
Oh, you can't make these outlandish claims and then he's going to make it out like I've challenged you.
Palmer has challenged Craig Ball.
No, he hasn't.